Saudi Arabia and Iran have exchanged ambassadors after years of political rift. In the meanwhile, a senior U.S. delegation has arrived in Riyadh to push for peace efforts in Yemen. According to some observers, Tehran and Riyadh rapprochement can accelerate the political solution in Yemen. The following report has more.
Saudi Arabia's ambassador to Iran arrived Tuesday in the Islamic Republic, and his counterpart landed in Riyadh, cementing a restoration of ties between the Gulf rivals after a 7-year rupture in ties. Iran and Saudi Arabia agreed to resume diplomatic relations and reopen their respective embassies following a China-brokered deal announced in March. Riyadh and Tehran served ties in 2016 after Saudi diplomatic missions in Iran were attacked during protests. Saudi Arabia's leadership recognized the importance of strengthening ties, increasing engagement, and taking the relationship to broader horizons. Also on Tuesday, Iran's ambassador to Saudi Arabia arrived in the capital Riyadh, where he was received by foreign ministry officials and embassy staff. Saudi Arabia's embassy in Tehran resumed operations last month. In June, Iran marked the reopening of its embassy in Riyadh with a flag-raising ceremony. Last month, Iran's top diplomat preached unity and dialogue during his first visit to Saudi Arabia since the surprise rapprochement was announced, saying bilateral ties were progressing in the right direction. Iran and Saudi Arabia have backed opposing sides in conflict zones across the Middle East for years. A delegation of senior U.S. officials is in Saudi Arabia for a push on regional issues, including the war in Yemen. President Joe Biden's advisor on Middle East affairs is in Riyadh with the Assistant Secretary of State for Near Eastern Affairs and Tim King, Mr. Biden's special envoy for Yemen. He also said that Yemenis are entering either their 17 or 18 month of a truce, the longest period of peace in Yemen in years, which has been delivered in part through painstaking U.S. diplomacy, and the U.S. Embassy not only wants to keep that going, but rather want to deepen it and get to a permanent peace in Yemen. Peace in Yemen has been the longest route that Yemenis are looking forward to achieving. However, despite all the international efforts, Yemen is still on the brink of collapse that threatens the future of its sons.